I'd like to put a starburst on this cover, kind of spice things up a little bit, but there's no starburst tool in InDesign. There is, however, the polygon tools. Now, the polygon tools are a little bit weird because typically when you start dragging them out, all you get is a hexagon. And who needs a hexagon? I don't know why they put that in there. I want a starburst, and I can turn my hexagon into one if I know a few tricks. I'll press the delete key to make that go away, and I'm going to double-click on the polygon tool. That opens the polygon settings, and here's where the magic happens. I can choose the number of sides, for example, maybe a 20-sided polygon, and click OK, and start dragging, and all of a sudden you see I've got something with, it looks almost like a circle, but there's 20 sides around that thing. Let me delete that and do it again. Double-click, opens it up. It remembers that I wanted 20 sides, but this time I'm going to change the star inset. If this is set to anything other than 0, for example, 20%, click OK, then InDesign doubles the number of points. So I actually have 40 points on this object, and every other point is inset slightly. In this case, 20% in from the outside to the center point. So I start to get my starburst. Looks pretty good, huh? Now, once I make a starburst, I might want to change it. Maybe I want to change the inset slightly. The trick to doing that is to have it selected on my page and then double-click on the polygon tool. Up comes the polygon settings, but this not only changes all the polygons I'm going to be creating from here on out, but it also changes any polygons that I have selected on my page right now. So let's change this to maybe 18 sides, but a larger inset. There we go. Okay, here's one more trick that you should know about when making polygons. Now I'm going to create another starburst, but this time I want to show you what happens when you hold down different modifier keys. For example, if I hold down the Shift key, it constrains it to a square. That is, the height and width are the same, so it could fit into a square or fit into a circle, however you want to say that. Instead of the Shift key, I'm going to show you what happens if I press the arrow keys. If I press the up arrow key, it starts to turn into a grid of starbursts. I'll press that a couple of times, and then I'll press the right arrow a couple of times, and you can see that now I'm making 9 starbursts at the same time. I'll hold down the Shift key, and so they're now all made in a perfect grid, perfectly square size, as it were. So that's kind of interesting, although I'm not sure why you'd want to do it, but it's kind of interesting that you can. But let me show you another modifier trick, which is going to be a little bit more useful. I'll press the delete key, and I'm going to start dragging out again. And this time, instead of pressing the arrow keys first, I'm going to press the space bar. Now, this is a strange, very obscure trick, but it's a good one to know. I press the space bar once, and when I do that, the arrow keys now mean add points. Up arrow key means add points. The down arrow key means reduce the number of points. And the left and right arrow keys mean change the amount of the inset. So I'm pressing the right arrow to increase the inset, the left arrow to decrease the inset. But those arrow keys will only work after I press the space bar once. That's pretty strange, huh? But that's how it works. Dragging things out, press the space bar, and then if I want to change the number of points or inset on the fly, use the arrow keys. Let go, and now it's created. Granted, a fancy starburst might be out of place if you're laying out a scholarly scientific journal, but a cool 20-sided icosagon or one of these amazing starbursts like this might be perfect if you want to make a big splash.